My name is Sam Samo, and this is my story. I was born in Maryland. When I was pretty young, I started growing up in Virginia, and eventually, I want to say around like the age of 10-ish, moved to Georgia, and then ever since then, just been living in Georgia, growing up in Georgia. I think I started gaming pretty young. I had like GameCubes and like a bunch of like those old consoles that my dad bought me.
Growing up, he always been loved how to play games, like Nintendo game, Wii, all kind of games. Whenever he start the game, he will never stop until he'll beat and win.
I didn't have an Xbox, but I had like a PS3. I had a PS3, I had Wii, I played like Wii Sports growing up. And then eventually I had my dad's old Windows PC. It was super old, I couldn't really play much on it, but I would just play games like Minecraft or like Roblox just for the fun. And eventually my dad bought me a better PC. And then as time went on, it got worse and worse. So my grandpa actually bought me my gaming laptop. And then I got enough money through that gaming laptop on my own to where I could buy my own gaming PC. And yeah, that's where I am today. So at the time, I had my own Minecraft server, and I was making like a couple dollars a month. Like not too much, but just like pocket change, I guess. And my cousin at the time was playing Counter-Strike, and that's when cases were like huge in Counter-Strike. You can like, everyone was buying cases, everyone was trying to open the knife, the new knife, whatever. And my cousin actually was like telling me, or like asking me to borrow some money, and I was like, what for? And he was like, I'm trying to open some cases. And I was like, what do you mean some cases? And then that's how I found out about Counter-Strike, and then I was like, oh, okay, fine, you can borrow some money. And then that's when I started playing it. So for CS, there was like kind of like a leaderboard system, I'd say, for pro players. It was called Rank S at the time, but eventually it moved on to FPL, or Face It Pro League. At the time it was Rank S, and I think top 10 made money every month. I don't think I ever got first, but I would always be in the top 10 range to where I'd eventually have enough money to buy my own computer. So I think like over time I added up and eventually had enough to get my own PC. I was pretty young, so I couldn't even go pro until I was 16. That was like the rule for Pro League for CS.
When do you turn 16?
June 7th?
June. You're such a baby still. You're such a baby, dude.
I didn't know about gaming, streaming. One day he came down, he's like, Mom, I made money doing streaming. I was like, what money? I was a little confused and like, how do you get free money? There's no way free money. He's like, this is how it goes, and people watch me and they will donate money to me. I'm like, why would they want to donate you? He's like, they like to watch me. So that's how I started knowing that people start giving money.
At the time, it was my second pro team. It was on Gen G. It was my first kind of big shot at the pro scene because it was with a bunch of pro players that I looked up to. I think it was our first event together. We qualified to that event and we decided to boot camp for it. So we boot camped in Europe for 3 weeks, I think. It was 3 weeks we boot camped in Europe. Flew back to LA and competed, and that was my MVP, or my first like big enough land to where I got MVP at. After DreamHack Anaheim, we disbanded. Basically, some of us wanted to go to Valorant, some of us wanted to stay in Counter-Strike, but Gen G, they were really supportive of everyone's decision. So shout out to Gen G for that. Or Daps, Chet, and I decided to switch to Valorant and make our own team. That's when actually we were talking to NRG, and that's how I joined NRG. I was a little worried, because I think in Counter-Strike I had something going for me. Winning that event, getting that MVP, I think I could have made or had a career. I mean, obviously I had a career at some point, but I think I could have pursued it if I wanted to, or at least like secured a job. And Valorant was completely new. No one knew like if Valorant was gonna be the next big thing. No one knew if Valorant was just like gonna be a fall off game. But I knew that if I did this well and I could compete and I can content create well in Valorant, the risk and reward were huge. We made the team, and my stream actually went downhill. I was averaging like 100 viewers again. My sub count dropped. Everything just dropped. I kept streaming a lot, but my numbers didn't really grow. until just like I played with other pros and other like content creators and just kind of getting my name out there. Even though I played with other content creators, it didn't really help much. I kind of had to make my own name out there with like clips or just like getting better at the game. Because I came from Counter-Strike, and Valorant is a different game. As much as I want to say it's kind of close to Counter-Strike with the FPS and everything, there's like abilities and stuff. So everything's kind of different. So until I kind of got my own clips, none of my stats on my YouTube stream, anything blew up until just like out of nowhere, everything like started like doubling.
Yeah, we love
Day after
Fortnite.
day, like my viewers went from like 100 to 200, 200 to 400, 400 to 800. It just over time grew like out of nowhere. And I think that's when I started getting like a bunch of clips. So I think getting a lot of clips and playing with other content creators helped a lot. Practicing 8 hours a day and then streaming. Whenever I start my stream, I don't want to stream just 2 hours. I feel like that's not fair for me to just go live for 2 hours and then just call it a day. When I stream, I want to stream at least 5, 6 plus hours a day, or at least like every session. So back then I would practice 8 hours and then stream for 6 hours on top of that. It was a lot. I sacrificed like family time, friends, just time for myself, like gym time, just anything. I just had no time. All I did was sleep, wake up, eat, stream, or practice and then stream every day. It was like repeat every day. There were breaks in Valorant to where I could have like a month or two of just gymming or just like going on breaks or like little vacations with the family. Even now, there's only like 2, 3, 4 friends I talk to like every now and then, even in like back home or in Georgia. It's just the same group of guys I talk to all the time. Like none of my school friends I talk to, I don't talk to anyone anymore.
I think there are people I think are funny and successful, and I don't have plans to get involved with them. Like there's this one Valorant streamer called n.r.g s0m.
The clip didn't blow up, but some people heard it. So those people that heard it were in my chat saying like, did you hear what Toad said about you? And at the time it was just like 1 or 2 people, so I was like, I just ignored it. But then after I turned off my stream, that's when I started getting like Twitter DMs or like Twitter DM requests and then like linking me the clip. And then I saw the clip and I was shocked. I was like, this guy watches me?
And I came across some of his content and I thought he was really entertaining and skilled and has like bigger potential than just being like a Valorant player, right?
It was super crazy getting like recognition from especially Toast. Meeting other content creators, honestly, even now I get nervous. Not too long ago, I played like a 2 versus 5 with Tyson or Tens with like Toast, Saikuno, and just like Valkyrie, and just like a bunch of people, a bunch of content creators that are huge. During then, it was like a live stream as well, so I was super nervous. I was super nervous playing with like all these super popular people. Like I used to watch them all the time. I feel like if I had to meet them again, I would still be nervous. It's definitely exciting. So yeah, I think becoming kind of like someone big in the scene kind of comes with responsibility. I kind of hold myself accountable to where I compete. I'm a content creator at the same time. So I kind of hold myself accountable to where I want to stream multiple hours a day, every day if I can. Because I think when you're kind of like big enough, you get fans and you get viewers that expect you to stream. Some people rely on that. Like some people in my chat like schedule around my schedule. So I want to hold myself accountable to where I stream as much as I can. I want to say it's a lot easier now because I've been doing it for so long where I can just hit the button and I can just do it. Yeah, so for goals as a competitor, I just want to win. Just want to win something. Doesn't have to be like necessarily huge. Obviously, I would like it to be like a champs or just anything. Just want to lift a trophy. Did it in Counter-Strike, I want to do it in Valorant. Yeah, I get a lot of questions asking me about like, are you gonna retire? Are you gonna full-time content create? And I joke around, obviously. I just like messing around, so I tell them, yeah, I'm retiring. I'm not actually retiring. I won't retire until I lift a trophy. And if I can't do it in 10 years, then I'm gonna retire in 10 years. 10 years, if I can't make it in 10 years, it ain't for me. For content creating, I never really had any goals. Even now, I don't really have any goals. I just kind of like seeing progress. From the very beginning, I liked seeing progress, whether it was slow, fast, there's just random spikes. Didn't really matter. I just liked seeing progress. So as a content creator, I just want to keep doing as much as I can. So yeah, I don't really have any goals, just kind of seeing progress over time. If you genuinely and seriously want to pursue it, I say go for it. But obviously just keep in mind what you're willing to sacrifice and the risks and just the probability of you doing it. If you're not ready to sacrifice 12 plus hours a day, time with your friends, time with your family, I personally, I don't think you should be willing to give up school for it if you're not willing to give up time. Like for me, I think my hustle would be streaming and pro playing. I think in 3 to 5 years, I still want to be competing, or at least in the esports scene somehow. As a content creator, pro player, 20 years old, I think by then I'll be like 25. So I think until I cannot, or until I think I'm done, I think I still want to compete.